Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Today we are going to start with lecture number 6. As I've already said, I'll keep speaking English with you because it is very much important for you to be exposed to the language in order to learn English. The only thing that I am going to do is to speak, let me say, simple English and a little bit slowly, though it is better to keep speaking in the normal speed to make you get used to the language. Nonetheless, I'll keep speaking English. I'll try to speak slowly a little bit because some of you might not be able to catch with me. But this is not a justification. It's up to you to start listening to English all the time, and without being exposed to the language it would be difficult to learn English. Nonetheless, I will keep speaking English, but I'll try to make the speed of the talk a little bit slower to help you understand, to help you catch with me. Today, inshallah, we are going, or even before talking about lecture 6 of today, in lecture 5 I wrote, and I have just deleted, that you can send let me say the homework to the teacher in order to be corrected. Indeed, you are not meant by this sentence. Don't do this. This is for the full-time students because there are only few students, 15 students. With regard to e-learning, it would be difficult to send me the homework, but in the direct lectures that are going to start inshallah on this coming Wednesday, you can ask me about any question you find it difficult to be answered. In addition, with regard to vocabulary, I will ask you about the words that their meanings have already been given to you. In other words, you have just to concentrate on the recorded lectures and on what I say in the lectures. All of the questions are going only to be from the recorded lectures, the recorded sessions, what is written I mean, and what I say in the class. So the questions from my viewpoint are going to be very much easy, simply because they are directly taken from the material that you have already been given. Now today inshallah we're going to start with lecture 6, and it is going to be about the tense which is named the present progressive or continuous, if you can, if you want me to use this name, the name that you have already been used to while you were at schools. With regard to the present progressive, we mean the tense that is now happening. And in order to say in English that something is now happening or is happening, we have to use the ing form. What we mean by the ing form is going, seeing, playing, looking. And in the present progressive, in addition to the necessity of finding the ing, this verb that has the ing is to be preceded by one of the auxiliaries: is, was, are, or we, or are, or were, or be. So this tense is used to describe an action that is occurring right now. Now it is going on. For example, I can say, now I am teaching you. Now I am looking at the camera. Now I am writing. At this very moment, the action has begun. The action has begun and is still in progress. Yani, if I say I am teaching you, of course the action has started 5 minutes ago, but still I am teaching you. So you're talking about a tense which starts a little bit in the past but we're still doing it. So now I am teaching. Now I am teaching. Notice I is followed by the auxiliary and then I am teach, then teach takes the ing form, it becomes teaching. So I am teaching is one of the present progressive tense or continuous, simple present continuous. It is continuous, present continuous, present continuous, because we're talking about something that is now happening now in the present. Look, I just would like also to make the matter easier. There are two words or two verbs, look and listen. In general, these two words, these two verbs are followed by continuous, by present progressive. Present progressive means continuous. For example, if I'm walking with my friend and suddenly my friend says, look, this means something now is happening. So look is always followed by continuous. My friend might say, look, somebody is playing. Ahmad is playing. Look, Ahmad is playing. Or listen, you might be with your friend walking in a street, then your friend, for example, notices that somebody is shouting. He might say, listen, somebody is shouting. Because listen means you just want to attract the attention of your friend to something that is now happening. So these are good examples where the progressive tense or form or the continuous might happen. Listen, somebody is shouting. Or look, some people are playing. Okay, this is an important note, please. Look at this example. She is typing a paper for her class. This means now she is typing the paper. If you look at her, you will find her typing the paper. He can't talk. He is fixing the sink right now. Now he is fixing the sink. Now he is fixing the sink. Also, what is written in here, sometimes if you do something temporary, not for all of the time, temporary, the progressive is to be used. Let me make it easier. For example, suppose you are originally from Saudi Arabia. If you go to England and somebody asks you about the place where you are, you might say, I am living in England. Yes, you might live there for 1 year, for 2 months, for 3 years to finish your PhD. But eventually, you have to be back to your country. So live in this case takes the form living. So I might myself say, I am living in Al-Ihsa. Why? Because I'm not going to live in Al-Ihsa forever. I might stay here for 1 year or for 2 years. But you will say that I live in Saudi Arabia. Why? Because all of the time you live in Saudi Arabia, and after you come back from England, you will also say that, or you will come again to Saudi Arabia. So with regard to Saudi Arabia, as you are Saudi, you have to say, I live in Saudi Arabia. In general, all the time. But if you go to England for a visit or to study, then you would say, I am living in England. Because the action will stop someday and you will be back to Saudi Arabia. Non-action verbs not used in the present progressive. Students, there are some verbs that are called non-action verbs. These verbs do not take the ing form. Let me make it easier. The verb like is one of the non-action verbs. Why? Because I say I like apples. It is not correct to say I am liking apples. Now you are liking apples. No. It's a fact with regard to you. So you say I like apple or apples. It is wrong to say I am liking apples because like is one of the non-action verbs. In other words, it doesn't take the ing form. Another verb, you might say want. Want. I want, for example, I want to buy a car. It is wrong to say I am wanting to buy a car. This is not correct in English because want is one of the non-action verbs. So what is correct is to say I want to buy a car without adding the suffix ing to the verb like or to the verb want. Of course, we have so many verbs like dislike, hate, like, love, need. I say I love my mom. I love her all the time. It is wrong to say I'm loving my mom. Or want, hear, see, smell, taste, believe, know, think. But notice the author is very clever. He says think between two brackets, meaning believe. If think, this is a very important note. If think means believe, in this case it is wrong to make it with the ing form. يعني, for example, I think Ahmed is nice means I believe Ahmed is nice. In this case, think means believe. It is wrong to add ing because you believe all the time, you think all the time. But sometimes think doesn't mean believe. It means now you are doing the process of thinking. So I might say, look, the teacher is thinking. If you look at the teacher, you will find him doing or in this shape or standing this way. In this case, it is correct to say that the teacher is thinking. The process of thinking is going on. Or, don't talk to me now. I'm thinking of something. Doesn't mean believe. If it means believe, think could not be with the suffix ing. Suffix means the morpheme that we add to the word or to the end of the word. Okay. Here, I just explained to you how we form the progressive or the continuous, present continuous, as I told you. First of all, we have to have a subject. It is impossible in English to have a sentence without a subject and a verb. So, and by the way, it is also wrong to say that an English sentence has to have a subject, a verb, and an object. Object is not necessary, by the way. The subject and the verb are the only two items that are to be there, but the object is not necessary. Why? Because we have something in English called, for example, intransitive verbs. الأفعال الجامدة غير المتعدية in Arabic that do not have objects. For example, he died. The man died. مات الرجل. He subject and died is a verb, intransitive. It doesn't have an object. Nevertheless, it is 100% correct. So the object is not important, but the verb and the subject are to be there in order to consider the sentence correct in English, by the way. So, how how I form the present continuous or progressive. I have to have a subject. I, you, he, she, it, we, you, and they. We have to add auxiliary. If it is I am. If you, you are. If he, she, it, he is, she is, and it is. If we, you, and they, are is to be added to them. So I am, you are, he, she, it is, we are, you are, they are. Then the verb clean, as it is continuous, ing is to be added, and the sentence becomes I am cleaning up, he is cleaning up, we are cleaning up. Again and again and again. I want to concentrate on this point. My questions will be from this material, from these recorded lectures, from these slides, the slides that you have already been provided with. So again, I want to make it very clear. The exam is going to be so much easy for those who study, and it is going to be so much difficult for those who do not study. Don't think that you are good enough so that you don't look at the slides. The slides and what I say in the lecture or in these lectures would be enough to make you get a very good mark. In addition, in the direct lectures, I am there ready to answer any question you feel like to answer. Now, of course, you have some questions that are not answered. The answers are found in my explanation, are found in the rules, because if I just keep answering the questions for you, this means it is a spoon feed. Then you couldn't test yourself. You won't know whether you understand or not. Part of the job is up to you. You have to make the questions and the answers depending on my teaching here, in my explanations, and the rules I have already mentioned. Negative, I just add the not to the auxiliary. I am not. You're not. He is not. We are not. And the question rule of English, from my viewpoint, is one of the easiest rules in the world. In order to make a question in English, it is just simply locate the auxiliary in front of the subject. For example, you are cleaning up. To make it a question, are you cleaning up? I put the are before the subject. Just locate the auxiliary before the subject. Okay? Look, am I cleaning up? Are you cleaning up? And so on and so forth. Believe me, this would be enough for you. Now, this is very much important with regard to the spelling. Most verbs, you just add the ing. Walk, walking. But if the verb ends up with a vowel E, like come, we have to delete the E and add the ing form. So E is omitted, then you add the ing form, so come become or became coming. Notice the E is not there anymore. Sometimes a verb in English might have I and E. Omit them, add Y, and then the ing form. So lie, lying. Lie, lying. The example can talk about itself. But sometimes an English verb might end up with a consonant like the N, being followed by a vowel like the A, run. In this case, you have to double the N. So run, running. We have two consonants, N and N. This is the case, or this is the case where the consonant N, sometimes it's called nasal, but I think it's not your business now to know. N is preceded by a vowel A, so the N has to become doubled. So run becomes running. Double the consonant, N. Now try these. As I told you, I give you examples, but the rule I have explained, if you understand it, can make you do all of these so easily. Drive has an E. Driving, you have to omit the E and then to add the ing, as simple as this. Drive, driving, hop, hopping. Okay. Notice here, I tried to give you examples to make you able to differentiate between the present simple and the present continuous. For example, I sit in a class every day. If you are a student at a university, if you are a student at a school, if you work at a given company and you have an office, you say, I sit in a class every day. I sit in my office every day. It is something habitual, a habit, something that happens all the time. Present simple is to be used. But I am sitting in a class right now. This means now you are in the class and now you are sitting in the class. In other words, it's a fact. If somebody asks you about the school, you would say, I sit in a class every day. But you might receive a call and you might be asked about the place where you are. In this case, you will say, hello, I couldn't talk freely simply because I'm sitting in the class right now. I couldn't talk, in other words. So, as a habit that happens every day, present is to be used, present simple. But if now you are doing something, continuous is to be, is to take a place. The teacher writes, forget, I'll give you another example. I teach at the university every day. It's a fact. I might say this while I'm home, while I'm with my friends shopping. But somebody might call me, and at that time I am in the class lecturing. I will say, sorry, I'm lecturing now. I'm lecturing now. Because at that moment when you receive the call, the action was in progress. But if I go home and somebody asks about my job, I will say, I am, for example, a prof at the university. I always go there at 7 o'clock. Habits. Okay? But if I go to the university and I am in the lecture hall and somebody asks where am I will say, I am now teaching in the lecture hall. As a fact, present simple is to be used. If at the moment you are doing the action, progressive or present continuous is to be used as well. Okay. Notice, we cannot make a question in English unless we have an auxiliary. If the auxiliary is there, we just locate it before the subject. For example, I sit in a class every day. I don't have auxiliary. I have to make the auxiliary, which is do in this case, as I have a main verb, which is sit. Do you sit in a class every day? It's a question. Yes, I do. But if I have a sentence like this, you are sitting in a class right now. Are is there, I make the question with are. So, are you sitting in a class right now? Because are is there. If is there, I will make the question using is. Ahmed is, for example, writing now. Ahmed is writing now. Is Ahmed writing now? But if I say Ahmed goes to the university every day, I don't have are or is, I would use do. But as Ahmed has the verb go with the suffix s, goes, do takes the s and it becomes does. Then I make the question, does Ahmed go to the university every day? So if the sentence is in the continuous, I make the question using the auxiliaries that are already mentioned, is, was, are, were. But if the sentence is in the present simple, where no auxiliaries appear, in this case I would use the verb or the auxiliary do. So I make the question with do. Do you sit in class every day? With he, she, it. I make it does. Does he go to school every day? Does she go to school every day? Does the cat eat milk, meat every day? So, if the auxiliary is there, I use the auxiliary. If it is not, like the present simple, I make it do. Suppose the sentence is in the past. Do becomes did, and then I make the question. In other words, if I say, Ahmed went to school, an action in the past. Went, the past of go. The question will become, did Ahmed go? Went becomes go again. Did Ahmed go to school? The answer is yes he did, or no he didn't. Notice the teacher doesn't write because the sentence is basically the teacher writes on the board every day. The examples will, let me make some of the examples in here. Alice is in her room right now. She is reading a book because now she is in the room, the classroom, reading. She likes the book. I couldn't say she is liking the book because like, as I have just classified it, it is one of the non-action verbs. I would like to thank you so much for listening to me and be patient with me, and inshallah we'll meet next time. Thank you so much.